Hello, Internet! Blue Lolly again here in my kitchen at the Hub, and today, once again, participating in Vlogust 2014, a slice of my everyday life, I am making laundry soap. This particular recipe requires a 5-gallon bucket because we're going to make a total of 10 gallons of laundry soap using half a cup of super washing soda. And it is important you get super washing soda and not regular baking soda. You need 1 cup of borax, and this particular soap, Fells Naphtha soap. I have grated all of my soap, so I'm going to just sprinkle that in there, and we will melt it down. And then we just stir it around slowly. And it will melt. So here it is all melted. You will get a little bit of sudsing on the top, but as you see if I pull up through here, there's no pieces. On to step 2. Into the bucket. We put our half cup of washing soda. Woo! And our 1 cup of borax. And just hot tap water. I'm going to throw in a few cups worth of resistor, just a few times around. And this is where I call for help, because I don't have that many hands. Allonosaurus! I guess I could have had you stir, but I'd rather the hot splash just stop.
Oh, stop?
Yep, just a little bit, because I gotta stir this real quick. I'd rather the hot splash possibly hit me than you, which is why I had you pour the rest in. And set that sucker in the sink, and we will fill it with hot water. Alright, Allonosaurus making laundry soap!
Oh yeah, it's the best smell in the world.
It's actually not bad. When it's hot, it smells kind of funky, but when it properly congeals, it'll smell like coconut. We're gonna pour the next load of water in. Ow! Hot faucet is hot!
I wonder.
Who would have guessed, right? And we'll add that in. That is still not enough, so back to stirring, and back to filling the pot with water.
Do a lobster dance.
Do a lobster claw dance! It's the green lobster claws!
There we go.
Yay for heat safe
Sorry
Celadon!
for my bad aim, guys. Whatever.
No worries.
What if somebody just was watching this, they're just really mad, they're like, man, I really wanted to see all of the lobster dance.
All the lobster dance!
I'm gonna back up so that I don't get splashed.
Yeah, I don't want to splash you.
So we get a nice full shot of this.
Because water comes out of my faucet at boiling. Maybe we'll take one more. Basically, you're just filling it with hot water till it gets somewhere near the top of the bucket. As I said earlier, it does suds a little bit when you're stirring it, but not a big deal at all.
It's really hard to stir and hold this at the same time.
I don't think you're steering anything right now.
No.
Do not make laundry soap and drive.
Yeah, that would probably not turn out too well.
I can't imagine that would be so great. Alright, I think this is going to be our last bit of water to add in here. Because I don't want to fill it all the way to the top, because it will expand a little bit as it cools and gels. It does expand slightly. So you don't want to fill it all the way to the top, because Lord knows then you'd have a mess on your hands. There we go. And that's good. You can leave about, I don't know, what is that, like an inch? Maybe?
Maybe 2. About 2 inches.
Something like that. You'll feel a little bit of grit when you stir. And when that grit disappears, that's when everything's dissolved. If you have a proper bucket, it will have a lid. And you can put the lid on and leave it for somewhere between 12 and 24 hours. I, unfortunately, while I do have a lid to the bucket, it has been lost to the ages. I think someone may have turned it into a shield for LARPing. So I go by the route of tinfoil. Because by holding in some of the heat, it does gel better. And you could leave it open if you like, but I'd rather have it covered because I have cats. You know, cats like to get into things, and this way it's safe. And I will come back tomorrow and show you what it looks like when it's gelled. Alright, this is day 2 of laundry soap making. This is our bucket that we set up last night that I totally forgot about, so it might be a little more gelled out than I would normally have it set. For that purpose, I am adding to the list of requirements today, the stove. Just in case we need to reheat the laundry detergent. You will need something to break up the gel, in my case, the wooden spoon of doom! You also need a slew of somethings to hold the laundry detergent. Remember, this does make 10 gallons. I think I have like 11, 12 bottles up here, and this one I think holds a gallon. And you also need the pot for the purposes of watering down. Now, if you're smart and you happen to have 2 5-gallon buckets, you can pour half of this into another 5-gallon bucket, fill them both up with water, stir them around, and then decant them from that way. Also, speaking of decanting purposes, need a funnel. I use an auto funnel because it fits nicely into just about everything. It does make a bit of a mess with this one, but...
One piece of crap canning funnel!
Perfect! Canning funnel it is. Note, plastic canning funnels. Not such a great invention, Ball! Not such a great invention. So this one has been relegated to the soap making, which is fine. It's easily sanitized, but when you pour hot food into it, I'm afraid it's gonna leach the plastic. But for the purposes of laundry soap, whoop-de-doo! We're storing it in plastic. And you need something to decant with. Then you dip into the pot, scoop up, and pour. And it is important to pour slowly, for that matter, because it's kind of gel. It will overflow the can. It will overflow the funnel if you're not careful.
Big reveal?
Big reveal! Yeah, that's bricked. Yeah, that's actually not so bad. Alrighty. So we just kind of... I mean, this part takes a minute. I don't know if we're gonna film all of this. But you just gotta break the top gel. And it's really wobbly because it's on my not so perfect wooden stand here, but hey. The best way I found to do this is to, just like you do with rice, you go down and through. So if you're making sticky rice, you already know the motions. Ideas. At the hardware store, they sell these paint stirrer things that you can attach to drills.
Ooh.
Getting one of those would be a great idea. So we've stirred it, so most of the big lumps are gone. I mean, there might be 1 or 2 left in here, but that's not a big deal. Most of it's broken down pretty nicely. That means we move on to step 2, which involves filling this pot halfway with our concentrated laundry detergent and halfway with hot water, which is why my faucet is running. So we'll do 1, 2, 3. And because I didn't actually get a full 3rd one, I'm going to get a little bit extra. Because I need 3 total. To get to my halfway point. And then we add water. Add hot water and stir. Stir until all the lumps are dissolved, which by the time the water gets to our mark of the bottom of this top dot there, most of this should be dissolved. It may take a few extra minutes of stirring. Are all of our lumps gone? Oh, and it will sud when you're stirring and when you fill with water. You'll get a little bit of suds here. That's perfectly fine. I will tell you, when you put it in your machine, if you were to open it up mid-cycle, you'll see you don't get that many suds. Not nearly as many as you would, say, compared to a store-bought laundry soap. And that's perfectly fine. The suds have nothing to do with how clean they're getting your clothes. No lumps! On to the next step. Well, darn it. That's fine. It does no harm to touch this stuff. This is why you pour slowly, so it doesn't overflow and spill down the side of the bottle. Now, you will notice, if you want to get in close on here, that there is some suds happening. As I pour, we will see some foam reach up here. And when that happens, that's your cue to stop and set it aside for a few minutes. The foam will die down, and you will be able to fill the last, maybe like top bit of the bottle. We don't have any foam in the top of this one anymore. So we'll just pour some of that in here. Move on to the next one. I try and pour it so any that runs down the pitcher falls back into the pot. Oh! No one saw that happen. I will edit that out. No one will be the wiser.
You saw nothing.
I'll come back at the end when we have all of them full and we'll show you how many we got. So it turns out that all the laundry bottles I had weren't quite enough to fit all the laundry detergent I made. So I had to get creative. I got a couple double layers of jars back here. And my personal favorite is the wine bottle. This is what 10 gallons of laundry detergent looks like. It cost me, including, by the way, the gas on the stove used to render down the soap. This cost me about $2 to make. If you look, I have some price tags here on some of the eco-friendly laundry detergent I've bought in the past. So, you know, $12, like $6 or something. So, consider this a significant savings. So, Dr. Mac wants to know if the wine bottle will explode if he shakes enough bubbles into it, if the cork will pop out. I don't think it's going to happen because it's not carbonated, but I'm still slightly scared. So I'm going to stand way back over here while he shakes it over the sink just to see what happens.
The bubbles. Oh, the bubbles. The bubbles!
Oh, I suppose it is worth noting that before you pour, you're going to use about a cup of this for a full load in your washing machine. Use about 3/4 of a cup, actually. If it's heavily soiled laundry, you can use a cup. I use a cup for my rags and for towels, and for like jeans, but I'll use 3/4 of a cup for most everything else. And you do need to shake it before dispensing into your laundry machine. This is safe to use. Don't do that. Bad. Dr. Mech is our resident bartender. So he does have the skills. I do not, though. And sometimes when he's throwing, you know, glass around, it kind of scares me.
I'm not sure if it totally worked.
Yes, totally. Oh god, it exploded. Look at it. Oh, it's exploding everywhere.
Yeah,
Okay.
exploded.
Alright. Good night, Internet.